Welcome to the Fight with Depression podcast for people who want to improve their mental health. My name is Christopher Boussard, and on this episode, Molly and I speak about the difference between New Year's resolutions and setting goals, and we speak about the importance of setting achievable goals and making sure that you are following through with them, reevaluating them on a timely basis, and we are talk about some goals that we have set for at the Fight with Depression. So let's get started. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So on the topic of Happy New Year, we are just a little bit into January and figured that it would be a good time to talk about New Year's resolutions versus goals. So
Yep.
And I think Molly and I talk about this every year. We're like, well, we talk about how resolutions are just kind of silly and this and that. But I think with our changes that we've had, we've kind of been talking more about making goals.
I think goal setting is something that I learned when I started in real estate, and I'd never really done that before. And I found it very helpful. And I hate New Year's resolutions. I just think that so many times people set themselves up for failure. If you're a person that keeps your New Year's resolution, then I commend you. That's amazing. But we talked the other day, and I told the kids and Christopher, I said, what if we set some goals for the year, some things that we would like to achieve? It could be something as easy as I'd like to read X amount of books, and I'm going to read 1 book a month or 2 books a month or whatever it is. But just a little something to work towards.
Yeah. So, I think if we're going to talk about resolutions and goals, I think it might be good to kind of talk about the difference.
Yeah.
The differences that we're talking about. So as a general rule, resolutions are more broad, are broader than a goal. Whereas a resolution might be something like, I'm going to eat less sugar this year. A goal is going to be, I'm going to only put 1 teaspoon of sugar in my coffee, and I'm going to, something that's going to make it better as you go.
So a resolution is basically a statement of what you would like to have happen, and a goal is your action steps on how you're going to get there.
Yeah. The resolution is a statement of resolve.
Mm-hmm.
People say, I'm going to exercise more this year, instead of, as a goal is going to be, okay, well, I'm going to the gym 2 days a week, and I'm going to do that for the first quarter, and I'm going to increase it by 1 day every quarter. So Molly was talking about, people not following through on their resolutions, and I kind of didn't let her know. I've got a couple things pulled up here on the computer, since, I like to do statistics. And how does he say it in Fun with Dick and Jane? Statistics. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anywho, okay. So I've got so Forbes Health, this article came out this year for 2024. New Year's resolution statistics for 2024. And they get into what people's resolutions are. The first one is improve fitness. 48% of the people put that, improve fitness.
Yeah, that's why you don't go to the gym in January.
Yeah. Improved finances are 38%. Improved mental health is 36%. And lose weight is 34%. And so these might be more in depth than what they're putting in here. It's just a broad generalization. But if your resolution is to improve your fitness, you're probably already going to fail. So
maybe.
You look like you had a comment. Sorry.
Oh no,
Before I move
I
on.
mean, it was just improved fitness is pretty broad. So, I mean, what does that mean? And that's where the difference between a resolution and a goal comes in.
And like I said, they might be just lumping everything in and everything. But so they've also asked people how many resolutions are they planning on setting for 2024, and 45.5% of the people said 3. 19.5 said 2. It's funny, only 2.5% of the people said 1
Really?
resolution. Yeah.
I think that New Year's resolutions are every year there's less and less people who do them because people have failed so many times with them that they're just not setting them. But maybe instead of not setting a resolution, maybe you should regroup and think about setting goals for the year with action steps on how to achieve those.
Yeah. So you're jumping ahead though.
So
and they also say, like, how long do resolutions last? And 22% only last 3 months. 22% last 2 months. At 12 months, only 1% of the people reported that they continued their resolutions, but 6% said, I'm still sticking with it. So anyway, and then another one from last year, this is February of 2023, from Ohio State University, Fisher College of Business. Their statistics are a little bit different than,
it's funny.
I did it.
There you go.
Are a little bit different than what Forbes put out from this year. I don't know. They're saying that research shows that 23% of people quit their resolutions by the end of the first week.
Wow.
43% quit by the end of January. So they say that there's, they list here, there are 4 reasons people seem to fail their New Year's resolution goals. And I think, or New Year's resolutions, sorry. And I think this is kind of where we're going to get into this. So they're saying that goals should start at the time of change. The problem is people do it because of tradition. Oh, well, I have to set a goal or I have to set a resolution, so I'm just going to do it. Well, then that's not a way to. Molly has been drinking carbonated beverages, so she's over here making weird faces.
Sorry.
Anyway, so it says if you're setting a resolution for tradition's sake, then your motivation will be lacking compared to goal set because of a need. So that's kind of what we're talking about, is you have a need and you got to set a goal to achieve your desired outcome.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny, frustrating, whatever for me, because I've been at many jobs where, at the end of the year, beginning of the year, whatever, they're like, okay, set your goals for next year. And people just copy and paste them from last year and send them in or put a new date on there. Like, how much are you going to accomplish if you haven't even really, and I did that.
Yeah.
Because I was just want to get it in. I don't, I didn't set goals because I had my goals in mind. But the thing too is, your boss will look at it and go, okay, you've set your goals. Thank you. Be on your way. And there's not really, what's the accountability, I guess, personal accountability for achieving your goals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know, since you've kind of been doing this longer than I have, or longer than I actually have, do you want to dive into this before I keep talking?
Well, I think I'm not the best goal setter in any way, but my goals tend to be around my career. And I think that I need to do some personal goals as well. I had set some a couple years ago and revisited them at the end of the year. I had set them probably in late May or early June, and revisited those at the end of the year, and I was pretty discouraged that I really hadn't made much progress on my goals. And then the following year, I looked back and I was making progress. So I think there's this kind of, we get discouraged when we don't meet that goal. And that's not the point of it in my eyes. The point of it is, okay, maybe I didn't meet that goal, but look at all that I accomplished. Maybe I came up a little bit short, but there was improvement happening. Yeah, I know the cats decided to run amok, and that's what they do. They're like children. If you don't pay attention to them, they're going to get your attention. Anyway, but I think that it's more so looking at, okay, maybe I didn't meet that goal, but tracking your improvement on things. And that's something that I could definitely be better at. And that is one of my goals.
To be better at setting goals?
And is to be better at tracking my improvement. Yeah, that's where the importance comes in.
Well, and okay, so that kind of goes into this other point Richard Batsis, who put this article out from Fisher College of Business from Ohio State University. And he says that, that you should set big goals, because if you're motivated to reach a big goal, you're going to be more motivated to follow through with it. But break those down into smaller chunks. Like I said, quarters, right? So if your goal, if you haven't been to the gym in 10 years and you set a goal or a resolution or whatever, that you're going to suddenly start going to the gym 5 days a week, it's not going to happen.
No.
Whereas if you said, okay, the first quarter, I'm going twice a week. And then you will reevaluate that at the end of your quarter. And, with the goal, let's say you've got the goal in mind, at the end of the year, you're going to go 5 days a week to the gym. Mm-hmm. And end of the first quarter comes around and you're like, you know what? Going to the gym 5 days a week is not manageable for me. However, I still want to exercise 5 days a week. So I'm going to continue going to the gym 2 days a week, and I'm going to increase my physical exercise by going on a 30-minute walk after work another day of the week, and then you keep going on.
Yeah.
So you break them down into manageable chunks, instead of trying to meet your goals on day one of the year.
Well, and it can be super overwhelming. I've mentioned it before. I have a business coach, and we look at the year, and like most businesses do, you set your goals for the year, but then your focus is just going to be on that first quarter. And then you break it down even below that. Okay, then let's go month to month. Okay, and then what are we doing this week? And so it can be super overwhelming when you look at everything throughout the year. But when you break it down, like Christopher said, into smaller chunks, it's much easier to swallow.
So Pablo Picasso, I said it right the first time.
Yeah, you did.
Pablo Picasso said that our goals can only be reached through a vehicle of a plan in which we must fervently believe and upon which we must vigorously act. There is no other route to success. So yeah, you believe that you're going to, you don't set an astronomical goal. I'm not, I joked around that my goal for this year is to make $1 million.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I know, right? But if that's my goal for the year, and by the end of the quarter, I have not made $250,000, I'm going to start getting discouraged.
Yeah.
And then, so.
Well, and I think the other thing too is when people set, let's just say, a New Year's resolution, they quit, and it's with a goal. you try not to quit. I mean, you can keep going on a resolution, call it whatever you want, but that's the thing. You'll have days or you'll have months where you're not doing as well as you intended. And instead of just being like, well, whatever, my resolution's out the window, or I didn't meet that goal, I can't do it, and just giving up, it's okay to restart, you know? It doesn't mean that you have to keep going and something, you know, you get sick, the kids are sick, whatever it is, work gets really busy and you're neglecting your goal. It doesn't mean it goes out the window. You can restart it and that's just fine.
That's why I write my calendar in pencil.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Whereas our master calendar in the house just has a bunch of scribbles on it.
Well, not yet, but because
no.
the year just started.
Yeah. But that one you can't write in pencil. It just doesn't show up as well.
It doesn't.
No, on a book. Yeah. Anyway, so another quote.
Okay.
Molly likes the quotes.
I do.
So Lou Holtz says, if you're bored with life, he says, you know, you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things. You don't have enough goals. So are more goals a good thing? Are more goals just adding more stress? Because that's kind of the opposite of what we're trying to do, right?
Well, yeah. I think it's, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what your goals are. And if you're on track and you're actually working towards them, you know, if you're motivated to meet those goals.
Yeah. So I bring this up because, like I said, I talk about reevaluating, right? So if you set a bunch of goals, lofty goals for the year, and you're like, man, I don't know, these are my big goals because you know what? They say that if the bigger the goal, the more motivated you are to reach it. So I set a big lofty goal, and you know what? I'm already halfway there 2 months into the year. Now I can reevaluate and maybe add some more of those goals.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, being excited to get out of bed in the morning, it sounds great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're discouraged because you aren't meeting your goals, it's going to be, you know, just as bad, if not worse, than not having enough goals and not having enough motivation to get out of bed.
Yeah, but at that same time, then you could maybe reset something and do something a little bit smaller or take a different, you know, say it's the going to the gym and you're like, I'm not, and you're getting frustrated and upset because you're just not able to make it to the gym. Be like, okay, scratch that goal. I'm going to reevaluate, change it, and be like, okay, instead of going to the gym, I'm going to go get on the bike or go on walks.
Yeah. You don't have to wait until next year, you know, the beginning of the second half of the year or the next quarter to reevaluate your goals. You know, if you're going, well, I can't get to the gym 2 days a week, forget it, I'm not going to exercise.
Yeah.
No, that's a good time to go, you know what? I still want to exercise. Let's look at what is manageable. How can I manage?
It's that whole thing of like the diet starts tomorrow, you know, well, tomorrow never comes. So just make better choices today.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Our buddy always says, well, that's a future me problem. So, yeah, I'm going to start I'm going to start my new exercise program tomorrow. That's a future me problem. I'm going to start my today I eat like a king and I sit around and yeah. Anyway, so I think that's kind of what we're getting at is, you know, instead of doing a blank resolution.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to whatever.
Yeah.
You do your goals. How are you going to achieve those goals? There's lots of acronyms for goal setting, you know, SMART and whatever, make them SMART, which I can't remember exactly. It's simple,
manageable. Maybe.
I don't even remember.
Okay.
But that's, you know, as long as you do that, you make it manageable. I'm moving my arms around and Molly's just watching my arms flail about instead of I feel like you're not paying attention to
I'm
what
totally
I'm saying.
paying attention to
Like,
you.
the cat's running around in the background, and
Yeah. It's the new
see,
year, you know.
yeah,
Kids
no,
just
that's
went
true.
back to school for the first time today, so we're getting
did.
back into the rhythm of things here.
They did. Okay, so with all of that said, I kind of wanted to bring another part of this up. I think we've kind of made our point, right? Do you have anything else to say on that topic?
I don't.
Okay. Um, and so another thing I wanted to discuss, talk about. It's not a discussion if we're just talking at you, if you're just listening.
Yeah, but we're discussing
We
if
are
it's-
discussing.
Yeah.
This. So our goals, I guess my goals, I don't know, the goals for the fight with depression, the website, the podcast, and all of that. So with the mindset of goals, I guess I can bring it up that I have officially been cleared by my doctor from my work injury, which is it was a good time that it happened to be the end of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been cleared with restrictions.
Yeah.
So I will never go back to the fire service with the strict restrictions that I was put on, and that's understandable. Anyway, so I've been kind of looking at everything, reevaluating, looking at my goals, and kind of working toward getting those goals in order for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those is the podcast. Let's just start with that. We've been putting these out very sporadically.
Yeah.
And people will ask, oh, when's your next episode coming out? Oh, what are you going to do another one? And we keep talking about that. Oh, okay, well, we need to do one every other week. We need to put one out every other week. And so I put down as a goal for this year is that we will record an episode in advance, because we've kind of been doing them on the fly and putting them out as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so to make things a little easier, recording them in advance, and then putting them out every other Monday.
Yes.
And as I was talking about, my goal is to reevaluate that after the first quarter, and say, okay, is this a good, is this working, or are people, my hope would be everybody's like, oh man, they're so great, and put them out every week. At which point that would be another, Molly doesn't always have to be on the episode. I think more people listen when you are. Actually, more people listen when Molly's on, which she's got a big old grin
It's
right now.
interesting. I don't know. I think it's because we have fun with it.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, so it's, yes. So I'll reevaluate, and if it is like, okay, let's start putting them out every week, then that will be addressed at that time. But I think, yeah. So every other week, putting out a popcast episode. And then the other things that I say excited, but I don't as much as excitement as I have. Show whatever. Going to be working on a list of events, a list of items, topics that I would like to be putting out for our mobile wood shop. If you've watched the YouTube channel, I've got the little mobile wood shop going, and so it's going around and making things, showing people how to build, make those candle holders. If you watch that video, or Molly and I discussed several options. So it's going to, putting it on the calendar, not just next week, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But a month or so in advance,
yeah.
and scheduling those things. Scheduling different outings or, different stuff like that,
Mhm.
photography outings and everything, and then putting more photos up on the website. So, and the goal with that is that, the sales for the photos and for the t-shirts and stuff we have on the website, that allows us more freedom to be able to continue to do um, the podcast and everything. And, that's going to be another thing that we evaluate here in the future is, do I open it up to receive donations through the podcast? That's something that people do. But I think as of right now, I think we're still at a point where we can, I can say, okay, yep, through the sales of certain things that we're doing, that money is going to go toward helping other people. That's my goal.
It goes right back into the business, being it materials, woodworking materials to help somebody make a bookshelf or a
A
knife.
bookshelf is a lofty goal to help somebody with. I'm just
Well,
saying.
I tell you what, you're building one right now and
I
you're
am,
doing an
yes.
amazing job.
Our-
So that was the first thing that came to mind.
our son and I are building a bookshelf for him. So stick around for that YouTube video that I am not putting off until the end. I am putting it together as we go.
Which
So,
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So
What,
I'm
the video?
excited. No, the bookshelf. I'm
Oh, the
excited
bookshelf,
to
yeah.
see the end result. It'll
Yeah.
be nice.
I made a bookshelf for our daughter several years ago for our
Yeah.
younger daughter, and it's going to be similar but a little different. Our son has put in his artistic flair requests to me, so yeah.
And then pretty soon it's going to be filled up and you're just going to have to build another one.
I know,
So,
I know, or shelves or something for that kid.
I know.
Anywho,
But, yeah. Back to the whole donations and all of that. Everything goes back into helping other people, however we can with this mission. So I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we will continue to evaluate the podcast, website, everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
So cool.
And we do encourage you, please, if there is something that you would like to hear us talk about or question or comment or anything, let us know for sure. We've addressed a few requests in the past. We have another one coming. And we really take it seriously. We want to give you the information that you're looking for, give our opinion on whatever it is that you're asking about. So we really do enjoy that.
Yes. I was asked a very deep question from a listener. So if you're listening, thank you for that. We have a guest coming on, an expert, and she will be addressing that.
Yeah.
Or we will be addressing that. So
in about within the next month.
Yeah.
Those will be coming up.
Cool. So I'm, like I said, as excited as I can be, ready to see what this year holds.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I feel that last year was a tough one. And so, but it was good. But I feel like this is kind of a fresh start,
Yeah.
if
Well,
you will.
last year was very difficult for us, for me, and I think it forced us to evaluate some of these things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think people listening are like, what are they talking about? We talked about it, my injury and
Yeah. Basically, Christopher lived in a recliner for 6 months.
7.
And that was
7 months.
7 months. And that was difficult, for sure. So yeah. So that's what what we're referencing.
Yeah. And, sometimes those difficult life events make you reevaluate. So, anywho, thank you for listening. And Same as always, if you need to get a hold of us, go to thefightwithdepression.com. You can go to the contact page and let us know, or you can go to, if you're on the Spotify app, you can answer the questions down below the Q&A or the poll, and answer those questions. Reach out to us, and until next time, God bless.